Check it out, folks. I've just pulled in at this little countryside crossroads next to this little post box out here in the wilds, and we're about to be joined by special guests from the Netherlands today, joining us driving the Power Major. I'm trying to think, I had the Power Major at the Angus show, and yeah, it's about to be joining us on this adventure, folks. So that's why I've pulled in here at this junction, we're waiting to have a convoy. Two blue Fordsons, folks, making their way up Glenisla. The P6 has been doing well today. It's amazing, the 1949 technology. Often it's like being on the back of a Spitfire or something when you're hurling up the glen on one of these things. The noise off the exhaust, it's just incredible. We're now joined by special guests from the Netherlands behind us on the Power Major, folks. But also, the rain has now come on. But you know how it is on this channel, folks. We're out all conditions, all weathers, making these adventures happen. I just hope there's no lightning today, because this tractor's got a metal steering wheel, so I'm not sure how that would go down. I love the rip off this tractor exhaust. Check it out, folks, we're now at the show, and we're now joined by Scotland's #1 DJ. He's come to the show as well today to check it out and to see the mixture of vintage vehicles on display. And we're just basically waiting. The off-road run hasn't gone yet, and nor has the road run with the cars, and that's how they're all lined up. They go on a road run around some of the glen roads here in Scotland, and basically with the tractors and Land Rovers, we go on a separate run over like the off-road section of this glen. So yeah, we're just basically hanging out, catching up, and just watching all these vehicles coming into the show field. And already there's a mad mixture of things. Check it out, folks, the field's really filling up. Now we're joined by AKR. He's also joining us on today's adventure, along with the special guests from the Netherlands, yeah, Scotland's #1 DJ. We've also got AKR out here, and yeah, it's amazing. The field is just constantly filling up with different vehicles. So the rain's now on pretty heavy, folks. I do apologise for any droplets on the lens. Everybody's got their engines fired up and we're ready to go on this off-road run. The P6 is purring away there, ticking over, ready for this adventure. Check this out, folks, we're on the 2024 Glenisla show off-road run, and I'm second in the row here. What a landscape it is. This is one of the rare shows that you can actually go off-road with your vehicle around some of these old Forestry Commission tracks and roads through the glen. This is like an exclusive chance to see a bit of Glenisla you don't normally get to see. Extremely steep. We're now off the main road here. This is a super dodgy bit of road. Look at that, the horses, one of them's running around. They've maybe never seen a P6 Fordson rolling by before. Probably all these old colourful vintage tractors. Not seen a lot by these animals. What a view, looking over this land. This is a chance to see bits of this glen that you never normally see. colours of the summertime is just incredible. I can see there's a couple of farm dogs here running about at the right hand side, probably wondering what's getting on, why there's so many tractors going past. Look at that, there's the dog, folks. Shout out if that's your farm and that's your dogs right there. Yeah, what an area, it's absolutely beautiful. It's probably been a good few years since vintage P6 has come up a road like this. Sheep and the cows in the fields this time of year when you're on a tractor. It's amazing, you get to see things that you never would normally see if you were in a car. I can see the row of vehicles behind, folks. The P6 is just purring away. We're actually on a smooth bit of road right now for a change. Shout out to all the people that put the show together and the people that go around opening the gates for us to go through and then they close them. Thank you. Like that gentleman there, shout out if you're watching this video. It's people like that that make it possible for us to drive around here. I think I've got dry lips from this pollen in the air today. On the vintage tractor, you're just out breathing all that in as you go along. Just look at this landscape though, folks. The footage is a bit shaky because obviously we're on these roads right here, folks. Look at this, folks, the River Isla, what a sight. Looks like there's been a lot of timber getting taken out here recently. You can see the timber machinery at the far end. It looks like we're going up this steep hill. The smell of wood right here is just amazing, folks. Even the old farms and stuff here, it's just absolutely beautiful. It's like driving through a Scottish postcard. Shout out to all the people as well as recording this, and also all the people that we've seen out and about today walking. decent for modern tractors and modern vehicles. No exhaust note, no character. So there we go folks, we've just pulled back into the field after that off-road run. That was a decent hurl with a mixture of different terrain and landscape. So let's go and have a look around now and see what's all here at this year's Glenisla Show 2024. Look at this folks, it's like a big American camper van. That would be perfect for our adventures in the Highlands. A Ford Econoline 250 Falcon 490 camper back on it. What a machine. And then look at this Volkswagen camper van folks, and it's the old one with the split windscreen, that's the rare ones. And then look at this 40 here, one of the coolest cars at the show. It's done in the rally style folks, with the bucket seats and the harnesses. It's fully stripped out, probably for lightweight. But aye, it's such a mixture of vehicles, unreal. Triumph Herald. Check out folks, here's a Corvette. Similar to the Corvette we saw in Braemar that day actually. Now look at this, the Polo. I do like these Polos. These were actually built on the same floor plan as the older Polos with the wee round lights. And then even the Mark III Polo was the same floor plan as this. Amazing little cars. I would have one of these even to this day. When Volkswagen was still making decent motors back in the day folks. I used to be a fan of them. I used to have a Mark II Golf GTI, so any of these older Volkswagens, they're just so cool. Look at that folks, an R-Reg Ford Escort SI. And I actually used to have a Ford Escort SI, also R-Reg. Mine was the 1.8 16 valve. It's amazing to see them at shows nowadays. It was just an everyday car back in the day. Look at this Nissan truck with the wide arches. I see he's got an Aberdeen FC air freshener, shout out Aberdeen fans. Then we've got a Porsche here. Wow, what a display folks. Oh, aye, Fiat Uno is it? I wonder if it's a Fiat Uno turbo. Very rare nowadays. This is a Ford Escort RS turbo here, this red one. Absolutely incredible looking car. Used to be known for like being a boy racer car back in the day. You would see it doing burnouts and things, but nowadays it's more of a respectful show car. What is the RS turbo? Look at it, G-Reg. And then look at this thing here, Fiat Uno. Wow, it's actually quite cool. That's when cars were cars. Look at the dash.
I see a turbo.
Yeah, I don't think it's an Uno turbo. Wow, look at this unit. Big straight six, triple carbs, proper chassis built vehicle. It is mad, there's no many places you could have an E-type Jag so close to a Fiat Uno. Yeah, that's got Lancia badges on it, that Uno. I'm not sure if it's a special edition.
It's just a Lancia.
So that is a Lancia Y10 folks, and it's not actually a Fiat Uno like we thought. But because Fiat and Lancia is actually the same company, we're thinking they were maybe dipping into the same parts box, making a very similar car. Maybe the Lancia was a bit more sporty. Now look at this, MX-5. DJ himself used to actually have one of these. There's videos of us flying about in it, eh? Storm Arwen, if you search up that video on the channel, I'm sure we're in his MX-5. Look, this one's got an aero package on it with some extra bits and pieces, with a hard roof. And the tyres are something fancy on it too. Toyo Proxies by the look of it. Yeah, proper racing tyres, even on the front. Look at that thing, that's a proper wee kit car looking thing. Ginetta. You still get the Ginetta GT races, I'm sure, in the British motor racing sector or scene. Look at this Ford RS 2000 here. Wow, it's in absolutely immaculate condition right here, folks. The character of these old cars is just incredible. Look at this rare looking Jag here, folks. It's got the old aerodynamics behind the driver's head and that engine. Looks like it's been at the Goodwood revival meeting Here it is at Glenisla. You just wouldn't know what you're going to see at this show. Such a mixture of vehicles, and that's what I absolutely love. Just like this thing here, the Maserati convertible. Look at this, folks. Here's a Corsa Sport by the looks of things, sitting with the bonnet open. These are another common car, but not so much nowadays. R-Reg, same era as that Escort we saw at the far side. But yeah, it's amazing to think these are the sort of things you see at the car shows now. It used to be an everyday common car, as were all these vehicles at one time, like the Morris 1000. Very common in many places, whereas now, getting rarer. The more rare ones are obviously getting more few and far between. The cheaper ones get bought and restored. Look at this car. What's it called? Look, Peerless Cars GT. Slough, England. Or is that how you spell slough?
Yeah.
I'm no for England, folks. I'm just reading the word. Yeah, it's a very clean engine bay. It looks like this thing's actually got fiberglass wings in there, from what I'm seeing under that. But another thing, look, it's got racing windows.
Only on that side.
Aye, that's unusual. It's a real mixture, this car. It's an unusual mixture. Look at this, folks. For all my American viewers watching the channel, a Chevrolet. We do have them here in Scotland. They're a bit rarer and you hardly see them, but check out that V8 sitting in there. Powering the big American pickup truck. When you drive about in Scotland with them, they're so big for the wee country roads. This is more suited. This is like one of these little Japanese vans, super common in Japan. This is a Honda, and look at the tyres. They must have gotten Honda put on those tyres. Wow, look at it, it's even got aero. It's a Honda Acti. Centre exit exhaust. Must be an import. A wee pickup truck like that would be super handy for doing jobs. You could get the toolbox in the back, a bale, a sheep, basically any job you're doing. You can take anything that you need. Check it out, also in the show field, this vintage truck with a stationary engine on the back. That's a good place to store it. A Ruston Hornsby. The character of these old lorries though, folks, I just absolutely love to see it. Look at the interior on that thing right there. That's when driving was driving. Nowadays you feel disconnected as you're driving around, but this thing...
That's when you stand fixing the engine.
Oh aye, you can lean up there when you're setting the tappets or topping up the screen wash. Yeah, wow, what a cool truck. And it is interesting to see it here at the show. It's been really well restored. Check it out, folks, this is another cool Escort here at the show. Look at that. Bucket seats, cool interior. They've got a couple of helmets hung up there as well. But look at it, it's got like extra wide arches and stuff fitted on it.
You spotted him.
What a car, folks. It's got the racing windows. Oh aye, they've got maybe an optional third seat in the back. Escort 1600 Sport. And then at this side there's a Ford Anglia. There is a couple of Ford Anglias kicking about at the show here. This one's white. Quite cool looking. In original condition, I believe. It's got the extra hella spot lamps on the front. Tidy little motorbikes, these folks. This one with the Repsol livery on it, super cool. And then we've also got a fine lineup of vintage bikes, or even classic bikes, or more modern bikes. They're all here. Look at this Royal Enfield here, folks. I love the colour of this.
Well, right, it's on the main road. Turn up.
Looks like it's had a fine restoration job done on it. Yeah, look at these things. This is cool as well. A Yamaha RD 350. Get in the comments if you remember these things kicking about. A YPVS Yamaha. The engine on that thing looks like a monster. Slightly more modern bikes here, like this Royal Enfield and then the Triumph. Look at the colour of this one, almost a sky blue. But the paintwork and stuff just looks incredible. It just looks brand new. Some of these bikes just look like the day they came out the showroom. I quite like these older Suzukis. A motorbike like this would suit us on the channel if we're going up some of those hills on the adventures. And look, there's even a moped here at the show. And look at this old bike here. It's called a James. And it looks like the sort of thing, a barn find as you would call it. It's like it's been in the back of a shed for many years. This one here, folks, it's a Ducati. I've not seen as many Ducatis recently as what we used to have. Back in the day, Ducatis was a common bike you would see fleeing around the roads. But it's maybe just that I've not noticed them, folks. They're maybe still out there. Some of these older bikes, they've got a completely different character. And then look at these things. These are almost new bikes made to look older. Quite interesting to see. British flag on there. I'm not sure if that's a British make. CCM. And then we've got a Moto Guzzi at the end. Two Moto Guzzis. The engines on those things look like absolute units. Check it out, folks. We've got some hot rods rolling about. V8 power. Listen to the rumble off that. Listen to the rumble off that, folks. The V8. Proper hot rod. And then look at this thing, one of the coolest cars, a little mini pickup. Little red mini. And it looks like it's in immaculate condition. There's no many pickups kicking about anymore. It's mostly just cars that you get. Check it out, folks, tidy old Land Rover here leaving the show. Some of the vehicles are actually leaving now. There is still some turning up, but that's the kind of laid back vibe here at the Glenisla show. You can just basically turn up for a while, and if you need to leave early, you can just leave early. If you turn up late, it's okay. As long as you're here at the show, it's a fantastic day. That's all I can say. And look how full this show field actually is now. Vehicles from one side to the other. And I think last year there was about 300 vehicles, and this year it must be similar or maybe even more. Each year the Glenisla show just seems to grow and grow. Check it out, folks, classic Rover here. Quite a luxurious car in its day. Tayside Classic Car Club, it says there. I can see Glam's Extravaganza stickers on the window. Some of these cars we may have seen a few weeks ago at the Glam's Extravaganza. Classic Saab right there, folks. Some of these vehicles starting to leave the show. We've got that wee Lancia. Check out, folks, classic Rover there, 2000 TC. So there's the Power Major, folks, and that features, I took that to the Angus show. If you want to see that in more detail, you can tune in the Angus show video also on the channel. I just thought I hadn't recorded any of the tractors here at the show, and there is a couple away. There was a Case International and a Valtra that's already left, but look at this, I do like a Nuffield. This one's a Universal 4, and this one here, a 1042, folks. The air cleaner makes a bra place to hang the piece bag. Then we've got a Fergie 135. Two wee grey Fergies here. And then look, a little Fordson Dexter on the end here. Yeah, if you've got any vintage vehicles or vintage tractors or any vintage machine, the Glenisla show's held here in the field opposite the Glenisla Hotel, next to the Glenisla Hall, annually, once a year, the first weekend of August. Look at this, some of these four-wheel drives are actually leaving. A couple of Land Rover Discoveries on their high suspension. Yeah, we'll go and take a look at the four-wheel drives and the Land Rovers and see what's kicking about in the field. Look at this, folks, a Tartan Reliant Robin. And I think this car quite often sits down at the Glenisla Hotel. And then this is the start of the lineup here with all the Land Rovers and four-wheel drives. And yeah, there's some coolings. Let's take a walk up the line and see what tickles our fancy here. Let's document the most interesting ones and the rarest looking Land Rovers. And I think further up this line, AKR's Land Rover is also sitting in the lineup. Look, some of these motorcycles are now going away, folks. YP VS, Suzuki RH250, Honda 250, Yamaha 400, Moped, Majesty 200, I believe it said on it. Yeah, and that's some of the motorcycles. There is still a few here. Wow, look at these. I like these old style Land Rovers here, the Series 2. And then look at this one. This has actually got the Perkins diesel badge. You know, on this channel, folks, we do enjoy a Perkins. Amazing scenes out here, folks. Some of them has got the bonnet open. Look at these little Suzuki Jeeps here. Check out, folks, these little Suzuki Jeeps are made for the off-roading scene. They're high suspension. This one's actually for sale, 1500 quid, which is no bad price really. Look, that boy's got his made with a little, is that a kennel? That's super cool. You could hear the channel rabbit in there, folks, exploring rabbit. Yeah, it's amazing how you can just customise these things like that. And this is, we saw this at Glam's Extravaganza. Lada Niva. And it's a super cool one. I think it's actually fitted with a Land Rover TDI engine, I believe. And it's cool to see that. I do like a Lada Niva. They're so well constructed, so robust. And shout out to all the Russian fans watching the videos. We do like a Lada on the channel, and often the Russian stuff's so well constructed. Here we are, folks. Look, Triumph Herald, shout out. Listen to the purr off that exhaust. And look at this here, this is a cool one. Look, it's like it's been on some Shetland rally, is it? Look, Shetland Classic Motor Show. Yeah, wow. Check out, folks, for all the American viewers, shout out to the American viewers, we've got a Jeep Wrangler 4 litre Sport. When I was growing up, this is what you used to see on a lot of the films. Almost like Baywatch, they'd be fleeing down the beach on a thing like I say. Surfboard sticking out the back. You know how it goes, folks. And then look at this. Toyota Land Cruiser VX Limited. And it looks like it's in immaculate condition. These are also known for being super robust, amazing off-road vehicles. And we are also a fan of the Toyota franchise on this channel, folks. Look at this, folks, it's a Humber. Check out the old engine. Wow, yeah, the gentleman's saying here it's only got back brakes. What a rare vehicle. So this car here, folks, is a 1924 and it was originally from Keelers of Dundee. And it was actually fully restored, taken out of a scrapyard back in the day and then restored to this glory, which must be difficult considering how rare the parts are for a 1924 car. Just think about that, folks. Look at this, folks, Land Rover 101, and a fine example of one. It looks like it's just fresh off the showroom floor. And look at this Land Rover 110 making its way away here. we're just in time to see it. It's actually painted with red oxide paint, that thing. Like a lot of Land Rovers, folks, rough and ready. AKR's Land Rovers here, and it looks rough, but it's actually mint underneath, mechanically fully restored with the old panels to give it that rustic character. And this Land Rover does feature on the BKR Isla series. We went all the way to the Isle of Isla in this old Land Rover. Here it is at the show. It made it up the Glen well today, and if the rain comes on heavy still at any point, we might have to seek refuge in here. But it looks like the worst of the rain today has actually passed by the show field. There is a bit of wind today, but we've got the windsock on the camera, so we're totally sorted. Yeah, it's quite a lot of Land Rovers. It's amazing to see so many in one place. And then down here, look, we've got Willis Jeeps from the war. A lot of these Jeeps were reused by estates, and farms even used to get them for quite cheap after the war, and they were a good working vehicle. Whereas now these ones have been restored back to their former like military condition. And I think these were also on the off-road run with the Land Rovers and stuff like that.
Oh well, maybe hit a fucking invade it once again.
This is another one of these cars, folks. It looks super old. Morris Oxford. Let's look at the design of it right here. Similar to that Humber that we saw higher up the field there. Look at that, imagine driving a thing like that. It's like flying a World War II aircraft or something. It's like a dash on a Hurricane. And then look at the boot here, you've got all this space for putting your golf clubs or whatever. Look at that, folks, TVR. Most likely a V8. And then we've got a couple of, looks like a Lotus Cortina. I think it's a Cortina GT. They've got a twin cam Lotus engine in them most commonly. And then this thing here is a Ford console. For sale it says, folks. We might have to get a vintage car for the channel. That could add to the adventures.
That colour around it.
Nissan 350Z. Tidy little Riley there, folks. One of my former teachers actually, that guy there. Fine gentleman, and he's done an excellent job with the restoration. I believe he actually made a lot of the panels and stuff like that himself. I think he's a great panel beating, a good hand with the panel beating, folks. Anyway, look at this over here. We've got a Ford Sierra right here. It's probably a Cosworth, I would think, isn't it? Look at it, I love the old Sierras, that style. Famous touring cars back in the day, rally cars, you name it. These were all over the British racing scene back in the day. But like, it's like everything else, few and far between nowadays. RS Cosworth. Wow. And it's got the whale tail spoiler, which was also on the Cosworth Escort after a few years. Check out this thing here, folks. Ford Granada. It's in like great condition as well, to be honest. Wow, it's got a wooden dash. Is it a Cortina?
Yeah.
I was calling it a Granada, folks. I do apologise for that. But then I always get it right on this channel. It's a Ford Cortina, 2 litre GL. The Granada was very similar to that though, wasn't it? The Mark 1. And look at this RS 2000 at this side, folks. 2 litre Pinto engine with, it looks like a Weber twin carb.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think anybody would be happy.
Check it out, folks, this classic Volvo. You often still see this. If you see the highlights of the Swedish rallying, they're still using things like this to this day. Crashing them into the forests and rolling them. Yeah, I don't see the model number actually on here. Yeah, wow, and then look at this over here. Is this no a Ram? A Dodge Ram V8. To all the American viewers, you probably see this sort of stuff every day. In Scotland, more of a rare truck, but quite big for the Scottish roads as well. Quite low on the rear end as well, that thing. Check it out, folks, we've got this trailer here. It's one of the rarest items at the show. Challenger. Check it out, folks, I never actually noticed this before. The wee motorbike with the sidecar here. And then beside it we've got this Rover 2000. Oh, the raffle's maybe starting, folks. We're about to head inside here for the raffle, because I've got some raffle tickets. And they're in my wallet, and I do have my wallet in my pocket, so let's head on in. So there we are, folks, the cars are starting to roll out of the field here. They've been going out and in the field all day, but that's just come out of the hall. I bought a heap of raffle tickets, but I wasn't very lucky this year. AKR has won a voucher, £25 voucher for Auto Sales of Kirriemuir. Here it is, folks, check it out. So he'll be able to get any wishes from Auto Sales with that, which is good. What a show it's been. It's been an excellent show, and like I say, one of my favourite shows of the year here. Anybody's welcome the first weekend of August every year here in this field. If you turn up in your vintage cars, you're welcome. Anything from tractors, military vehicles, Land Rovers and cars, anything you can think of, folks, everybody's welcome. But yeah, we're just basically rounding off all today's events here, and pretty soon we'll be heading down the road with the old tractor. Right, folks, I'm now on the back of the P6 Major and we're rolling out of the showground. Glenisla Show 2024. It's been a great show, and we'll be back next year, I'm sure, once again. Shout out special guest from the Netherlands featuring in today's video. Let's get going, folks, out onto this road. Hopefully we can avoid the rain.